Glenn M. Ford was an act I watched week after week in 1994 when I was learning the business. I got to see the structure of a cabaret, from his intro into a song, to jokes, audience participation, routines, comedy, and so much more. And we even got to know the man backstage as well. We, the team and the holidaymakers, loved his Norman Wisdom routine. He had a wacky but lovable on-stage persona, and he was a hit on that warm Isle of Wight Wednesday evening from April to September. Over the years, Glenn and I have seen each other at many charity events, variety shows, and shared the beer on quite a few occasions. He's a hard-working, caring man. He loves this business and just does what he can to keep people smiling. But as usual, underneath the makeup, there are tears, and Glenn shares his story with us. Welcome to Eyes and Teeth, Funny for Money, Glenn M. Ford, a.k.a. Norman Wisdom. Here he is. It's Glenn M. Ford. Hello, Glenn.
Hello, Steve. Talking about eyes and teeth there on your introduction. Funnily enough, I've lost a couple.
What, your eyes? You've lost some eyes. How many?
No. Not me eyes, me teeth.
Oh, have you really? Oh no.
Yeah, I've got two missing in the front at the moment, but I'm
blimey.
dealing with it.
Well, it's not visual, so you didn't have to tell us. But now I can picture you as having. Oh, that's unfortunate. Was that an accident, or is that just life? Is it?
It's just life. It's just age, isn't it? My age.
Oh, bless you. You're still a young man.
Well, I am 61 now, aren't I?
Yeah, that's young, mate. That is young.
Well, you ought to tell me teeth that. Whatever, but no, I was at the dentist. Funny enough, I was at the dentist on Tuesday to have a root taken out.
Oh, blimey.
So I was quite nervous about that, whatever, because I'm not a lover of dentists, I must admit.
I like my dentist, but I don't love the dentists, if you know what I mean. You're talking about the venue, not the person. The people are usually quite nice.
I think it's a childhood thing. I think I went when I was little, young, whatever, I went to have a load of teeth taken out, and I think it scarred me.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, you can have a phobia. It can stay with you.
Me subconscious mind, and I've just got an absolute fear of them.
Now, how are you with ventriloquist dummies? Because some people have that phobia of automatophobia, and they don't like clowns, ugly people, and dummies and dolls and things, you know, and they can't stand being near them. I've heard about this, and people are terrified because they saw a ventriloquist or a puppet scared them when they were a kid. They still got that in them when they're an adult.
That's probably why I don't see that many people then, because I'm ugly.
Well, you're not ugly. You just haven't got any teeth for a few weeks. So,
that reminds me of a gag that Norman did. Whatever he said, I wasn't ugly and I wasn't pretty. I was sort of straight through the middle, really, just pretty ugly.
That's nice.
I haven't forgot. Yeah.
Oh, bless you. And we met Glenn in 1994 and Whitecliff Bay Holiday Park on the Isle of Wight.
Oh God, don't you bring back some memories there?
You were brilliant. You were there I think it was Wednesday, I don't know, it might have been Friday, but throughout the summer you were there every week, and we look forward to Glenn M. Ford night. We always had such a good time. I was a resident team star, so I'd sit, you know, in the daytime I'd do loads of sports, at night time I'd DJ, take part in production shows, do my little event act, which I was building at the time. And then my favourite nights were watching the acts. We'd sit there with the families and we'd watch people like Johnny Laff, the Wurzels, Phil Doyle, Tony Maroney.
Tony Maroney.
Yeah.
Is he still around, Tony?
I have no idea. I'd love to see him again. And
God,
I mean,
that's a name to come up with.
I hope he is still about. And also Crisco as well. Crisco was.
Yeah.
They all. I think he lived on the island, didn't he?
He did, yes. I don't know whether he's still with us, though.
No, I'm not sure. I last saw him actually in '99 in Benidorm. Crisco came out and he'd done a couple of gigs where I was working.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But again, that was...
Oh, you've already done more than I have. Then you've been to Benidorm, have you?
Well, I went after Panto and this contract came up for 2 weeks. So I went and done it and I stayed for 3 months, so which was nice.
Really?
But yeah, and you really... It's a bit like the Isle of Wight. Tough audiences. It was quite rough out there actually, and you know you got the stag parties and things, and you got to deal with these audiences. But it really did toughen me up a bit. So you need that.
Difficult to do the stags, aren't they? Because I'm not a stag type.
No, I'm not.
In fact, funny enough, talking about the stag, there was a dude that I did for. Is it British Tobacco down in Southampton?
Oh, I don't know. I've not done that. Not a smoker.
But I did a gig there, whatever. But
Was it a local tobogganists? I know they have like ski runs.
ski run, whatever. But of course, knowing the nature of my act, whatever, where I'm quite clean,
Yeah.
whatever. But the turn that went on before me, it was as blue as they come.
No.
And of course, I'm in waiting to go, and I thought, this is never going to work. This ain't going to happen.
No.
Because, you know what I mean? So I've got him doing what he's doing before I've gone on, and I've got to go out and go, good evening. it just wasn't going to work.
Mate, that sounds like Benidorm. I'd have two blue comedians on before me. They do all of the letters of the alphabet, you know, and I went out and had to try and follow it. And I was a family act, and they put me on at 11 o'clock, and the entertainment started at 9. So you had an hour of a comic, then another comic, then me, and then there'd be another blue comic, and then there'd be a male or female stripper, and literally they strip everything in. It's Benidorm. Yeah, what do you expect? Yeah,
I should have come out with you.
You should have done. You could have done some stripping as well. Well, do you remember being picked up by Les? He used to pick up all the acts. Yeah, he used to pick them up at the pier, didn't he, and drop them off after the show.
Pick us up, whatever, and then drop us back down, whatever, to pick up the boat.
Wow, so nice of him.
Yeah, because Les is sadly, he's not with us now, is he?
No, I did go to his service on the island a few years ago. It was
how long ago was that? Is that?
I think it was
a couple of years, is it? Or
it was only 2 years ago. Yeah.
2 years ago. One of the water rats, Johnny Clark.
Clark.
Sadly, he's not with us now, and
That was sad.
It'd be a big loss to the business.
Yeah, shocking.
You know, for all the charity work that he did and the golf, you know, all the golfing stuff that he did, whatever.
Yeah, he was always
lovely
there.
Person.
Yeah, that's terrible, isn't it? Are you into golf at all, Glenn?
Well, not as such, but I'm able to get there. I'm able to get round the course.
You're good. I can imagine you being dressed as Norman Wisdom, being someone's caddy. That would be a laugh.
I could probably do that all right, whatever. But I do enjoy it. It's you know, they're great days out, whatever. Great to have the comradeship of all the participants.
Yeah.
Whatever, and get a bit of grub as well at the end of the night.
That's my favourite bit.
Because obviously I would have done these with Jess. You know Jess Conrad?
Yes.
You'll know Jess, won't you? So I'd be along as one of his guests.
Oh, nice.
I hope Jess is okay. I don't know if you noticed he's all right.
I spoke to him on here a couple of weeks ago, so at the moment he's great, and I think he posted a picture of one of his friends earlier today, actually.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yes, so he's tweeting away. So I think Jess is good. Yeah, he's bless him. He's a funny man.
Oh, well, yes, I've done a few. I don't know if you know this, but I've done a few gigs with Jess.
Yeah, I know. I saw a few pictures online of you earlier, actually, and you've done quite a few things with him.
Things with him, whatever. In fact, I think whether it happens or not, but I think we do actually have one in June off the top of my head.
Okay.
Up near Great Yarmouth Way.
It's nice to be asked back to do gigs as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember you back in Isle of Wight. You went down so well, but you really do handle the audience well as well. You mould the audience into your act, don't you? So audience participation was quite important.
I've not really given it a lot of thought, really, what I do, because going back, because I actually started off, I don't know whether you noticed, but I was in children's homes, etc., etc.
Okay.
And when I was 17, I was in a place called Shearcroft Hostel,
right,
which is on the outskirts of Southampton, a place called Botley.
Okay.
While I was there, I used to go and see the rock and roll bands.
Yeah.
And one of them I sort of got quite pally with, and I managed to get out of care because I said to the people that were looking after me that I'm going to get this job with this rock and roll band. That's what actually happened. I came out of care because I had a route to get out of care, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Rock and roll band as a sort of like a roadie.
Oh, okay. What did you do up to that point? You know, up to that 17 point when you were in care. Were you interested in comedy or music at that time?
Interesting question. It's just trying to work out how it actually... It may be that it was just like a little bit of an outlet. You know, when you get sort of like slightly rebellious, and I've probably rebelled a little bit, this rock and rolly type character. And
yeah.
I wanted to be up there with the likes of Elvis Presley and Cliff Richard and Billy Fury and Adam Faith and... You know, I had quite an interest at that early age, and I actually started off, funny enough, my very, very, very first appearance, public appearance, was on Jubilee Day, 1977
Wow.
at Botley Square. Yeah, if you were heading to Botley, it's like a little village just outside on the outskirts of Southampton as such, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's got like a square, it's just like a village square. So they put on this day's entertainment for the Jubilee.
Wow.
And I got up and sang a couple of songs. And they called me, I got a bit in the paper, I think, whatever. They called me the Slick City Rocker.
You don't want to say that wrong.
No.
Do you know what? That's quite meaningful, because you say it was 1977 and you said you were a fan of Elvis, and then you performed for the first time then. Elvis passed away then, so it's like you took over from Elvis, you know, because
yes, he did. It was 77, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because I actually came out of care by then. I remember when Elvis died, I've gone into a church which I think was, is it St Mary's down that way? Southampton. St Mary's, or there was a church, whatever. And I remember going in and on my own, but I was singing Crying in the Chapel.
Oh wow.
Myself.
Bless you.
So you're bringing back some little
It's sad moments, mate, but you know, it's what shapes us into people, isn't it? It's what
is.
And memories are good things. Really good.
Yeah. And from that, well, basically from that 1977, I ended up doing, you know, getting a bit of a bug for it. So going from one place to another and getting up and doing a bit here and a bit there, and
Yeah.
because I was in children's homes, but when I came out of care, although I was involved with the band, but I ended up in a roundabout way sleeping rough almost for 2 years. But what's interesting, but I went through all these issues, but it was in 1980 that I ended up in Bournemouth.
Okay.
And I happened to get a bit of accommodation with a fella that used to collect hats. He had loads of hats, but he gave me a bit of accommodation. And on this particular day, I said to him, I said, can I try some of your bits and bobs here? And he said, yeah, that's all right, because he was partially deaf, so he spoke a little bit slightly funny, if that makes sense. Whatever,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's all right, yeah. So I'm going through all these bits and bobs, whatever, and I put a flat cap on. He said, here, you look like Norman Middleton.
Oh, you're kidding. Was that the moment?
And it was the moment.
Wow.
And I thought he was mucking about it. And he said, go and have a look in the mirror. And at that time, I didn't even know who Norman Wisdom was. But I went over to this mirror and I looked. And in that moment of him saying it and that look in the mirror, it was a life-changing
Moment, yeah.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yes, it does. Wow.
I still had rough times, but it was a life-changing. I was able to use the character
To pull you through, really, kind of get you through those years. Yeah, Norman kind of give you a lift in that way.
Yes. But knowing Norman as I did, because we were lucky enough to know Norman, we all know him in different ways, whatever.
Yeah.
But I really, really did value the friendship that I had with him. But what's interesting for me is, because of my background, because I was difficult with the family, whatever, and I was in care, came out of care, sleeping rough and God knows what else, etc., whatever. And up to that moment in Bournemouth, when I got spotted with the cap, it was almost like Norman's character that he played, the Gump.
Yeah.
It was like I was in a natural way, that character that he portrayed.
It also reminds me of like when Charlie Chaplin went in and picked a cane and a hat out and put it on for the first time. It's very similar.
Well, it is similar. Well, it's just a funny
coincidence. Yeah.
But yes, I got so excited. But all I've got on, I'll always remember it. All I've got on is my shoes and socks and a pair of trousers and this cap. And I got so excited, I rushed out into Sea Road. You know Sea Road at all in Boscombe?
I've been to Boscombe once, I think, but it's a big road, isn't it? Is it a main road?
Yeah, it's a long road that runs down towards where the pier is and everything in Boscombe,
wow.
Down on the seafront. But the people were with me. I just couldn't believe the reaction that I was getting.
Wow.
And so that was a life-changing moment.
Eyes and Teeth.
Is that when you first started becoming aware of Norman, or had you seen his movies up to that point?
Yes, I think so. But I eventually what I did, I left Bournemouth and I came back to Portsmouth in 1981. and I eventually managed to save up enough money to go over to the Isle of Man to go and see him.
Oh, wow.
I'm cutting the story slightly short here, but I went over to go and see him, made my presence known to him, and from that moment, over all the years that we got to know each other, we became really, really good friends.
That's nice. When did you first get to see him live? Did you go and see him in a theatre perform?
When I went over to the Isle of Man, I think he was opening a coal shop, funny enough, which was in Douglas. So I see him there. So I only had like the weekend, if that makes sense, on the initial visit to him.
Yeah.
And then I came back to Pompey, and the summer season, you know, they used to do the summer seasons at South Parade Pier.
Yes.
Whatever, the talent show.
Happy days.
And I won it, which I think might have been September of the same year. And I won it singing Don't Laugh at Me Because I'm a Fool.
Oh, lovely.
I don't know if you can recall a wonderful agent called John Bedford. Do you remember John Bedford from John Bedford Enterprises?
I don't know if he was around when, because I did do that South Parade Pier talent show as well, and Bournemouth Pavilion I done a talent show for the Bournemouth Echo, but 96, 97 I done those. But I think John Bedford may have been around at that time.
Yeah, well, he's still
rings a bell.
Still with us, obviously. Whatever,
Okay.
And I'm not sure. I think his son might have taken over the business as such.
Right.
But I always remember John, made an approach to me. He said, "If you can get an act together, I might be able to do something with you." Because I think at the time I only knew about 4 or 5 songs, and I went everywhere with them.
Yeah.
So one of them would have been 20 Flight Rock, which was Eddie Cochran. I used to do Teenager in Love.
Yeah, I remember them. Wow.
You remember Teenager in Love?
I remember you doing that. It was one of my favourites, yeah. And then, brilliant.
Oh, yeah, I've probably still been doing it then when I came over to you.
Yeah, and then was it Frank Ifield, She Taught Me to Yodel? You used to do that so well.
The Frank Ifield, She Taught Me to Yodel, and funny enough, I did get the chance to meet Frank Ifield on a gig that we were doing, and I was really, really thrilled to be able to actually do that song in front of the man himself.
Oh, you're joking, because you've done the same with Norman as well, and performing him in front of himself. It must be really nerve-wracking.
That was brilliant, that was, yes.
Must be so nerve-wracking. Yeah. Tell me about the Frank Ifield thing. Did he comment afterwards?
Yes, we had a good chin wag, and I've got a photo somewhere of me and him together, whatever, but he was he was very, very complimentary, and I just couldn't believe he was there.
Yeah.
I think, because you know what it's like on gigs, somebody come up and said, "Oh, Frank Ifield's in tonight," and I thought it might have been a lookalikey.
Yeah. These darn lookalikes, they get everywhere.
Yeah. You know, I was quite thrilled inwardly, whatever, to think that I'm going to be able to do this song in front of the man himself.
Wow, he's a legend. Yeah, he came into the Water Rats just about 3 years ago, and I let him go ahead of me in the buffet line, you know. So it was such a sweet man. He's a lovely man. So he's so modest and just a genuine, lovely guy, isn't he?
Well, I'll tell you who else was nice, because I met Bill as well that night. Lovely, lovely fella. Jimmy Cricket.
Oh, yeah.
Come here,
He's
I've just got a little
adorable.
me, man. Dear Jim. Lovely fella. But we've been really fortunate, Stephen. We've been really, really lucky to know the people that we do actually know.
It's brilliant. It opens doors, doesn't it? If you put yourself out there and do what you can. And you've done so many charity as well. You do put yourself out there, and you've helped a lot of people. We'll get to your charity, because you've done some major charity events. I'll talk about that nearer to the end. But your act, it seems to be you're inspired by a lot of people as well, because you did do some Joe Longthorne in the show as well, didn't you?
Yeah, Joe Longthorne. Now that's interesting about Joe Longthorne, because when I was in Bournemouth at the time, because Joe Longthorne lived in Bournemouth, and I didn't actually know him then.
Oh. Right.
But he was down there, and a couple of girls that I've made acquaintance with knew Joe Longthorne. And they heard me singing. They wanted to try and do something with me, whatever, because they thought I was on the same sort of level as Joe, if that makes sense what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So but I got to know Joe, but he was just such a lovely, lovely man. So obviously another one gone.
It's too soon. Yeah.
Extraordinary talent. But he was in Bournemouth at the time that I was down there, before I came back to Portsmouth.
Okay.
I'd actually got spotted by, I always remember that, I got spotted by a couple of girls. I'm just trying to think of the studio that he used that was down that way. Because I've got all his records here.
You didn't give them back to him?
No. I can't think think of the name off the top of my head of the studio that he used.
All right, is it in Bournemouth, is it?
Down in Bournemouth, or on the outskirts of Bournemouth. But I've got an LP here, whatever, called Only Once, that Joe might have only done 1,000 copy run, so it's quite rare. It's not worth anything, but it's quite rare. But he was destined for it, wasn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was fantastic, Joe.
Oh, concertos.
But I didn't get to know Joe. I remember on one occasion with Joe, we went to go and see him in a show that he was doing at Bournemouth, and I think I was with my missus. We'd gone down, and stuff and that. And you know what it's like when all the people come round to try and get his autograph. Well, I'd gone there, and of course I gave up, and stuff and that. And I said to the missus, I would just go for a wander and get a coffee somewhere. And we've gone into this little takeaway coffee kebab type place, and that. And couldn't believe who walked in. Joe. So he's had a bit of a chin wag in the conversation, but we did know each other, not well, but we did know each other.
Yeah,
so,
he knew of you. You're quite recognisable. If people see you, they don't forget you, do they? You're a character. See.
Yeah, I just wish one of the most frustrating things that's always been with me, as such, if I could do a brilliant impression of Elvis Presley, I don't need anything else. Does that make it just the look and the voice?
Yeah.
Where theoretically, Norman's character's always been a bit of a frustration for me to do anything with, because I need a straight man.
Yes, you kind of needed a double act in a way.
As Norman, if he was still here, bless his cotton socks, if he was still here, he would say that most of it was based around, having that straight man. Although the straight man, you really need to be doing a lot, but it was just the fact that there was someone there to be the bounce. Yeah,
I see what you mean. I did see something earlier on Norman, and there was this straight man really standing there and leading him all the drum routine with the boxing glove and all that, and he was leading him into it.
I'm going to teach you to play the drums. You're going to teach me to play the drums? Whatever. Tony Fane.
Oh, was that Tony Fane, was it?
Tony Fane.
He was a very well-spoken gentleman, was he? Quite tall.
Yes.
And he would do that. He must have done that on tour with him. And did you see... you must have seen this, because I bought the VHS of Bruce Forsyth and Norman Wisdom at the Palladium.
Oh, yeah, I've got that, That was brilliant, that was.
That was so good. But I guess Bruce was playing the straight man in that, and he set him up quite a lot, didn't he, Norman?
With the painting and decorating sketch.
Yeah, genius.
Or the wallpaper sketch. Was that 1962, 61, 60, somewhere around
it could have been. It's in black and white. I think they show it actually on, on these TV channels where they actually re-show shows and Palladium shows and stuff. It's so nice to see it all back again.
Well, funny enough, about that particular video, Norman actually signed a copy for that for me. And I was umming, whether to go up to Wentworth to take a chance to see if I could meet Bruce Forsyth.
Wow.
To sign it.
Yeah, do you know what? I met Bruce once and I got Bruce to sign my copy, and I was thinking of trying to get Norman to sign mine at one of these variety club events. So we both got one signed by the other.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, I gave mine to my dad.
Well, one of my regrets, as you'll probably appreciate then, is the fact that I never took the opportunity. And of course, sadly, Bruce is, another great legend in show business world, who's not with us.
Yeah, we can't do it now.
So it's a bit of a regret.
Yeah, but we should put our videos together. Is it VHS? Is it? Which is just put them in a museum together so they're both signed.
You could. There might be something there. We might better do something with that and raise a few coins.
Well, think about that one day. I need to break into my dad's and nab it back. I can't forget your finale as well. When I saw you in '94, we loved the act so much. We laughed a lot. We enjoyed singing along, all the participation, but we loved the Norman Wisdom part. You just done it so well, and you don't just do an impression, do you? You really are Norman Wisdom at the end of the act. It's really apt today. I have to mention this because I've called you on a day. I've brought you forward a few weeks to do this because today would have been Sir Norman's 105th birthday. Isn't that right?
Is it 105th or 106?
It could be 106. It could be my maths that's not working. So we would have been 106. You'd know more than me.
Yes, 106. He would have been 106 today, which I must make a mention on my Facebook page later because of this lockdown. I've
Kind of lose
almost
track a little bit.
steered away from a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I don't blame you. A lot of people are dealing with it in different ways, mate, aren't they?
Yeah, because it can get a little bit overwhelmed with such a vast amount of information, and we don't know what's true, what's not true. And I mean, I do go on there. I'm not on it like 24/7.
Do you get more on television? Have you been watching TV more? Because me and my wife, we watch so many box sets. I mean, we really outdone Netflix over the last year. And in the first lockdown, we got into The Crown. And I was delighted. I had to stop Nina, and I said, Nina, because there was the theatre scene. I went, there's Glenn, and you're playing Norman Wisdom in the theatre in The Crown.
I am. Episode 4.
Yeah, you, Glenn and Ford, are in a future Golden Globe nominated show. It must be a great feeling.
That lends itself to an interesting story from my point of view.
Yeah.
Which you'll appreciate, because obviously you've done TV, but when we were up there doing the shoot as such, whatever, I've actually ended up coming away thinking to myself, they're never going to use that. That'll be cut.
Oh, really?
So you'll know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I've been cut a lot.
That'll just be cut, and they'll work it out another way. Obviously, the programme went out at some point, and someone sent me a message. Have I just seen you in The Crown? And I was quite gobsmacked that they kept it in. But it's all over the world, isn't it?
Mate, it is worldwide, and it's incredible to see. And people will be watching the theatre saying, "Oh, that looks like Norman Wisdom there," but they wouldn't know it was you.
They wouldn't know it was me.
But they'll think it's Norman because you're so much like him. You did you really study his facially and physically? You really are Norman. So his vocals, nuances. Did you study him quite a lot before you,
I don't know if
or are you natural?
It's just a very natural. I remember. I went to go and see a show because there's another lad that did a tribute show to Norman, Jack Lane.
Okay.
The Wisdom of a Fool.
Right.
I've actually went to see it twice, but on the first night when I went there and stuff, I became aware that people were ogling me, and I thought, oh my lord. So obviously we got to see the first half, and when we came out at the first half, I've got more people ogling me.
No one wants to be ogled, not when you're watching the show anyway.
Show, whatever, but I've got more people, and then more, the curiosity. But
yeah.
I've gone back in when them came back out, so, when people are going home, I've actually got people coming up to me saying, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't think we're being rude, but are you Norman Wisdom's son? But so I was quite taken back. So there's a lot of people probably would have thought that I had a connection. They're so strong.
Yeah.
But he did a wonderful job at that, Jack Lane. Nice. I don't know if you've seen it yourself.
No, I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, doing the Wisdom of the Fool, he did a really, really good job.
Was it like a biographical piece, or was it a play, or did he play?
Yeah, like a little mini life story type thing.
That's nice. I love that sort of thing.
So obviously for me there would have been bits that probably wasn't right, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we were lucky enough to know him as we did. But nevertheless, he did a really, really good job. I don't liaise with him a lot, but he is on Facebook, so you can track him down. He's a very good, like, theatre actor, that type. What do you call these theatricals?
Out of work.
Well, they are probably at the moment, but is that sort of like theatre type? We're comics, aren't we? We just go and do the clubs and pubs. And
yeah, sure. Is he a comedy actor, is he? Or is he...
Yeah, sort of a comedy, but he's been in it for a long time. I think he's been in the game for quite a long time. He's only a young lad, but...
okay, right.
Involved himself. I'm just trying to think what that theatre is in Chichester. I think, is it in Chichester?
Chichester, that's a festival theatre, is it?
No, I don't think, no, it's probably... But anyway, the lad's name's Jack Lane.
Okay, thanks, mate.
But I was quite honoured that I've gone to see a show, literally just as a paying customer, but I've been recognised... And I've done absolutely nothing, but people have recognised me.
It's in you, isn't it? Norman's in your eyes, I think, as well. It's not just your movements. He's in your eye. He is in your eyes.
I'm having a look at this.
Oh, hang on, your eyes fell out, didn't they?
Oh dear.
Eyes and teeth.
Can I find out if this is true? Actually, the day before Norman died, you were playing him on a film set. Was that the Crown thing, or was this something else?
Was that the Crown, or did I do? Because I did another one as well, which came out of the blue, whatever, which was a real honour for me. I don't want to sound boastful to this, and nothing's ever come of it.
No, but we should.
But I did a little piece on My Week with Marilyn.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was brilliant.
But I was really, really thrilled Because I've gone up there just as I don't know what you'd call it, like a walk-on too or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. Cameo, is it cameo type thing or?
So I'm having a chin wag with Eddie Redmayne.
Wow, Stephen Hawking.
And at the end of my shoot, when I did my bit, whatever, but I actually had Kenneth Branagh come up and shake my hand.
That's nice.
So to have that sort of moment, because these moments, for me, they will sit with me, because how many people can say that they've actually had Kenneth Branagh come up and shake their hand? I mean, he's a huge star.
I know. I'd done that once to Hugh Hefner in Vegas, and then after I shook his hand, my wife Nina, who was standing next to me, she said, "Do you know where that hand's been?" And so I had to go and wash my hands. But, yeah, we were queuing up to get in his nightclub.
Oh, controversial.
But to have that, sometimes because I can't see in me what people on the outside see of me. Does that make?
Yeah, sure. I understand that.
But I've done a lot of things, Steve. I mean, funny enough, we're talking about Fools and Horses, Derek Jason, albeit an extra, but I'm in one of them. I'm in one of the Christmas ones.
Oh, are you?
I'm in Sid's Cafe playing a fruit machine.
Oh, yeah. That's nice to say that you've been in one of those Fools and all. Wow, classic. You can. I just smile. I brighten up when I hear about Only Fools and Horses, because it really makes you feel British, and you just want to watch it. When someone mentions it, I want to go and put an episode on. Which I'm now going to do this afternoon because you said that. But
that's the Christmas. I can't think what the title of the one, the Christmas one was.
Okay.
It still gets shown. Of course, now when it comes on, I do look out for that bit.
I think they're on BBC Catch Up now. I think they're on BBC iPlayer, or they're on Netflix. You can see them, any time now. It's so good.
Well, because I don't know if you ever did any extra work. Did you ever do any extra work yourself?
No, never did. My Nina did. She went to Brighton to film a part in Wimbledon, and she'd done a few scenes actually in Wimbledon, the movie.
But Nina would probably appreciate what I'm saying. I mean, I've been really, really lucky because. But this would have been the 90s, would it have been early 90s, whatever, when we did a lot of extra work. So I did things like Tango.
Oh, yes.
The actual last episode of Tango. I've done Doctor Who. Oh, there's quite a few of them. But they're just great things, aren't they?
It's brilliant, because you could be sat there watching with friends or your children and say, "Oh, look, I'm in this," and then you pop up. It's just a talking point, a nice talking point, isn't it? Really good.
I don't know whether you'll keep this in, though, Steve, whatever that, but I had one of my great aunts was murdered on the outbreak of the Second World War.
Wow.
And I was really tempted to try and see, because it fitted in to a degree with Foyle's War. So I managed to make a contact with Anthony Harrowitz to see whether he would have been able to use that as a storyline.
Yeah. Wow.
Because it was military based. I won't go too into it, but.
Sure. Wow. What history?
For that type of program, it would have been an ideal possibility.
Storyline. Yeah.
For a storyline. Whatever, and I do watch programs. So I watch Fools War. I love Father Brown. Do you watch Father Brown?
I think I've seen it once or twice. Yeah, but I haven't got into it just yet. I probably will do. I think I'm picturing the guy that plays Father Brown. He's one of those old Fast Show characters, isn't he?
Yes, I think he is. Yes.
I can't think of his name, but
I can't think of his name either.
He is brilliant. I do love it. I'd love to get into it. I think I was flicking one night. I thought, oh, this looks good, but I haven't gone back to it. But I should do.
I'm old school and all whatever, and I'll still watch Angela Lansbury and Murder She Wrote.
Well, everyone loves those sort of murder mysteries, don't they? And those old detectives. Everyone loves all them, It's a bit of...
Funny enough, talking about the detectives, whatever, because there'll be a little bit of a lead on, whatever. But I used to adore, and I still watch them when they come on. But Columbo, you can see a little bit of Norman's character within that Columbo. You remember Columbo?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Lieutenant Columbo, you look great, terrific. Have you got a light for my cigar? Just one more thing, sir. But Columbo, great but they're a little bit. So in fact, I think somewhere upstairs in me many Norman Wisdom items, whatever, I've got a picture of Norman, almost in that Columbo, just as that Columbo type character.
That's brilliant. You're really good at doing other accents, aren't you? You don't just do. You've done a lot of impressions actually. When I remember you doing the show, but you don't just do Norman. Do you not know? Well, that was a good voice. The Columbo was good. Just going back a little bit. Father Brown was Mark Williams, that brilliant actor.
Mark Williams,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm seeing a brilliant cast there. Actually, the gorgeous Emma Kenny who plays Bunty. Do you remember her?
Yes.
She's like one of the main characters. I've just seen a photo. I've never seen her before. She's very attractive.
Oh, you're just in the photo. I thought that's all right. I just thought you'd met her.
Oh no, she's not here.
I'm really envious.
Well, I am, and I haven't met her.
Ooh, confidentiality.
Where was your groundwork, Glenn? Was it like clubs, social clubs, holiday parks, cruises,
the same,
cabaret?
Clubs, holiday camps, the odd theatre, I say odd theatres, but theatres.
Some of them are odd. Yeah.
Well, the whole gamut of it, really.
You've done summer seasons, haven't you? I know you were down in Eastbourne in 2007 in my territory, and you've done the Hippodrome.
Yeah, that's it, the Hippodrome.
Hippodrome Theatre, and did Norman come to see you there?
Yeah, what had actually happened, I got wind that Norman was at home, and I thought, it'd be nice to bring him to the show.
Yeah.
So I contacted the family, told them what I was doing, whatever, and I said it'd be nice while Norman's here. I think he's only over here for a short stay. If I could pick him up and take him come and see the show, which they agreed to. But what was funny about that is that the other cast members in the show, because when you go and talk, I've got Norman, whatever, and stuff and that, it's like you get that sense, oh yeah, here he goes, he's pulling another flanker now.
They didn't believe you that he was coming.
They didn't believe me. But of course, on one of the nights that we was performing, I've actually got Norman there. I'm just trying to think the comics.
Was Daniel Dean on the show?
Yeah, lovely fella, Daniel Dean.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Whatever, but apart from all that, they were absolutely gobsmacked, and the comic compare, he was quite overwhelmed that Norman was there to see the show at the end, whatever, as he said, like to the audience, whatever. We're delighted to have Sir Norman Wisdom in the audience, so it was quite nice.
Ah, that's lovely that he came.
Yeah, I had to take him back home again. There's just so many memories. I mean, you probably had more than me.
Well, no, you just got to remember them. I guess I remember them, but I do, like I said, I trigger them really by the year, If you say a year to me, I'll tell you where I was,
Yeah.
And so that's, if you say 2004, I was at the Hippodrome actually in Eastbourne during the summer season.
Yeah.
If you say 1997, that was the year I started being an entertainer. I was doing holiday parks around Great Yarmouth. So yeah, I kind of use seasons or pantomimes to remind me where I was back then, or what girlfriend I was with.
I'll probably use it in a slightly different way, but I do use a similar method because I've always wanted to write a book.
Yeah, it flows. Like you say, I keep jogging your memory. It flows, and then it flows into another story, and then you remember something else. So writing a book is a great way of doing it. And you can do yours with your connection with Norman as well. It'd be so nice to hear your connection and friendship with him.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of titles, whatever, and that I thought about using. Two Falls Under One Cap.
That's nice.
But I haven't actually concretely got down to it, or it's in the air, if that makes sense. What I'm saying.
What about Please Laugh at Me, I Am a Fool?
Sometimes I do. I might go out, whatever, and have a walk, whatever, and something might prompt me, whatever. And I thought, that'd be a good title, whatever, because I do a lot of thinking because I've got a lot of time to think.
yeah, we have. What about Shakin' Stevens? What year was Shakin' Stevens? You toured with Shakin' Stevens, didn't you?
It wasn't a tour. No, that was.
Was it a one-off show?
Because I was with the rock and roll band, Freddie and the Untouchables. We go on these gigs, whatever, so you'd be with other bands, whatever.
Yeah.
But Shakin' Stevens was, and the Sunsets was on the bill, so that's how you get to know them as such, whatever.
Blimey. And so was he in a band at the time, Shaky? He had
Shaky,
the
Shakin'
Sunsets.
Stevens and the Sunsets.
I didn't know that.
Similar type of thing, but I did sing with the Sunsets, albeit on just one occasion. Something happened, whatever, and I got up and just done a couple of numbers with them.
Yeah.
And the Jets, you remember the Jets? I think if I've got it right, the Cotton Brothers.
All right, I don't know. I mean, the Jets, that they were a band for another artists, weren't they? Somebody
Yeah.
and the Jets. Who was that?
I think they're still working. They might still be working.
Are they? I've heard of the Jetsons.
It's such a vast, because I was in that rock and roll scene for quite a few years in a roundabout way. So I'd go and see different bands and...
Yeah, who sung Rubber Ball? Did you do Rubber Ball, that song?
I used to do Rubber Ball, I come bouncing
That's it.
back to you.
Was that, was that Johnny someone, was it?
Like a rubber ball,
That's
baby,
it.
that's all that I am to you.
Bouncy, bouncy. But you used to get the audience to sing Bouncy, Bouncy, I remember. Do you remember that? Bouncy, bouncy.
I haven't done that, Steve, for years.
Well, you done it a minute ago.
But you did right.
Yeah.
But there's probably a few things that I used to do that I don't do now. But I'll still be able to do it. I mean, if you said, pop down tonight, we're going to have a little knees up, whatever, and that.
But I remember doing a social club with you, and I think I went on after you, and I struggled. It was this, they just did not take to my act at all. But I remember we were there chatting and reminiscing, weren't we, about the Isle of Wight? But it was, do you remember any moments where the audience was just completely silent? I think that's what I had that night. But you went down so well. I think they just didn't want another comedy act. It was...
Well, I didn't have one, funny enough, and if I've got it right, I'm just trying to skirt around, well, not skirt around, but just give you an idea of what, I think it was at Bulford.
Right, yes.
Army Barracks.
Yeah, that'll explain it.
I've actually got to go out and do this gig, whatever, and I actually got so depressed, because hopefully you haven't had these moments, but I got so depressed, I remember sitting out in the kitchen area, on the floor, almost crying my eyes out because I couldn't believe how disastrous this gig had been. Because you end up blaming yourself, don't you?
Wow, yeah, you do.
Does that you think? Oh,
you
God,
think I
what
can't?
have I done wrong? What
Yeah.
have I done? Oh,
You think
dear,
you can't go on again? You
Does
think?
that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah, you think you can't do it anymore. You think, oh, that's it. You know, my act doesn't work. But
It just doesn't work, whatever. But it was nothing to do with me. It was just that they just weren't interested because I think they pay into their nephew or something. And they have to turn up whether they want to be there or whether they don't want to be there. So they're not really bothered who's on. But I've had a lot more good gigs than I've had bad ones. But sometimes the bad ones can stick with you.
yeah, they're the ones you can't forget. But tell us about a couple of your really good nights that you will never forget. You know, nights to remember. What memories on stage, or what stands out for you?
But obviously the one at the Hippodrome with Norman, having Norman there.
Yeah.
That was an enormous thrill, that was. Whatever. I did one night on behalf of Johnny Manns. You know Johnny Manns?
I do, yeah. We texted him this morning. He's a sweet, very funny man, isn't he?
Yeah, but we did an Elvis tribute thing, whatever, up at the Palladium. So I have actually, like yourself, although it's not known, but I have actually graced the stage at the London Palladium.
Lovely. No, that's got to be a memory.
So, but
yeah.
That's something that I've always wanted to do, Steve, whatever, because I mean, I did know Norman, you know, really, really well, but in a different way to other people. And one of the things that would have been a real massive thrill for me was to be able to appear in a Royal Variety Show. What I would like to have probably been able to do, so let's say you're the compere for that night at the Palladium.
Okay, I'll do it, yeah.
Whatever, and then I'll just keep coming out every now and again. Oh, is it my turn? I want to sing me song. No, off. So you have that as a running gag.
Do you know what? We did do that, Glenn. We done that down at King's Theatre, Southsea. Do you remember my tribute to Joyce? And you did keep coming on, and it was lovely. So let's pretend that was our Royal Variety Show. Don't rule it out yet, but we did do it.
Yeah, we did do that. Yeah, because sadly, I think if I'm right, that lass is not here now, is she? I think she passed over.
Yeah. It was a tribute for her because we lost her, but she loved you as well. That's why I asked if you'd do it, and thanks for doing it. It was a lovely night. Great tribute.
It was a lovely night. Yeah, God, yeah. So you do tend to forget. I don't know if you work like I do, but I have a little list of things that I would like to possibly do. You know, when you do like a bucket list.
Yeah. I crossed them all out last year. Yeah, but I'm going to start a new one. I know what you mean. You do have a bucket list, and the Royal Variety Show, it's always in the back of your mind, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd love to have been at the Royal. I would dearly love, even if it was just a complete one-off. I've never got to see it again, but I'd like to Norman's character, to be able to do that routine. because I think it would be brilliant. Because right at the end of the show, well, all right then, if I let you stay, what are you going to do? And I'd like to do the song that, whatever, don't nothing makes me fall, go into it. And what would make it even better, as I've got halfway through the song, have the credits come up. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does.
Whatever.
It's amazing.
But it's trying to find someone that might bite on it or give me the opportunity to, because I think it'd be a nice memory for people.
I think it'd be lovely, and I think it'd be nice for the future, if it was a big anniversary or something of Norman's, that, or even just paying tribute at the end of a Raw Variety show, pay tribute to Tommy Cooper, Norman Wisdom, and do you know what I mean, Morecambe and Wise, and have loads of lookalikes to come on and do something together at the end, pay tribute.
See, there's an idea.
That's what I mean, don't rule it out. We can make these things happen. You need to see the positive side.
Ice and Teeth.
I've seen you at a lot of Water At Balls, Variety Club lunches, even Max Miller events. You were there when Norman.
That one, yes,
Yeah, he revealed the statue. And do you remember when Norman went to pull the cloth off of the statue and it got caught, half of it, and they weren't ready. They weren't ready for it to be revealed. He was so Norman Wisdom then, wasn't he? It got a big laugh, that did.
I mean, it's like the fundraiser and the charity event.
Yeah.
I think the very first one I did was a walk from Brighton, funny enough, to Portsmouth.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's big in itself.
Although it's not a particularly big deal as such, but over the years, individually and collectively, I've probably raised about £80,000.
Oh, contributional.
We can't ignore the fact, I think it was 6 years ago now, on Norman's 100th birthday, when you planned a walk from London to Cardiff, and you did do this. Can you tell us how much you raised? You raised money for the Grand Order Water Rats.
Water Rats. Well, all in all, I think for that, I ended over, which is a lot of money, but individually and collectively, because some of the other, whatever, but I think that worked out about 16,000.
That was a lot of coins, man. Well, we'd like to thank you for that, mate. It was, I remember the moment, we were watching the moment on Facebook Live, and watching your photos. We were worried about you every day, because that walk is 166 miles. Can you explain to our listeners?
Bloody walk.
Yeah, it was. You're not still doing it, are you? Can you explain why you did it and what the connection was?
Well, obviously Norman did the walk himself when he was a youngster. He walked from London down to Cardiff, and I think he actually managed to get a job on a merchant vessel. So he went to sea for a bit, whatever. But Norman only went down to Cardiff because a lad that he was involved with in London had relatives down in Cardiff. So Norman, being down and out, and as he was as such, whatever, went on board with the fella, and that's what they did. They walked down to Cardiff.
That's incredible.
I thought it'd be a really, really nice thing to be able to do. It's something different, isn't it? It's something that Norman did do.
And yes, yeah. I'm just interested in the story. And you dressed up as Norman, and you got cars were hooting you for.
Yes, I had all that. Yeah.
How long did it go on for?
One of the things I'll always remember is Keith Simmons, bless his cotton socks. They were worried, and I think they sent him out to look for me.
Yeah.
But as you're probably aware, we actually did do that walk twice.
You did you've done it again.
Yeah, so the first time I was on my own, and then the second time I was with Keith Simmons, and bear with me a second.
Mike Martin came down, didn't he?
The lad that's got a slightly funny name and a foreign sounding name.
Kev Orkian.
No, not Kev.
No.
He's a character, that one.
Yeah, he is. Funny name, though.
Yeah, but what a great lad. So the second time we did the walk, he drove the vehicle.
Oh, it wasn't Udo, was it? Udo Fontaine?
Yeah, Udo Fontaine. What a lovely love. See,
he is a lovely guy.
People you have in that order, isn't it?
He's a lovely guy, yeah. We have a lovely time in there. And we wanted to support you, because you supported us so much on that. And you're always at the balls. And those two walks that you did, though, I mean, it's a massive feat, isn't it? Speaking of feet, how are your feet?
Oh, my feet are okay.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
You ruined some shoes, didn't you?
Yeah, because did you know? So theoretically, what I've done. So I walked from London down to Cardiff, twice, whatever. I've done the walk around the Isle of Man, which is about 100 miles in effect, whatever. And I've also walked from Gosport down to Deal, to the St Norman Wisdom Bar in Deal, the Wetherspoons pub.
Yeah, nice.
All in all, I think just over £20,000 I've raised. I've got a couple of local charities in the area that I've donated money to.
Yeah.
And I still have coins, whatever, and I've just very graciously made a donation to Sean Moderson's son.
Tommy.
He's on the unicycle.
Yeah, he done that this week. Tommy Rollison. He was doing that up on
Tommy, whatever. So I sent him a check up for
Hunstanton.
£100. Only a small gratuity, but
bless you, mate. That's so good of you.
It'll help. Because he's raising money for the rats, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Well, we really appreciate that, and all of your time that you put into it, and it wasn't an easy thing for you to do, but you did it twice, and you're
I've done it twice,
you're such a good man. You really are giving, and yeah, we need to make sure you get your raw variety spot, as Norman. That would be amazing. So
I think it would be. It's just trying to find someone that would bite that. I'd probably like to do a TV commercial with using Norman's character.
Yeah.
Which I've had ideas for, trying to get them to fit in. It's trying to get that character to fit in.
Yeah, sure, but they might actually see.
Run for the chase.
Did you? Oh, okay.
I sent Bradley a message, whatever, and a signed photo. I don't know whether he got it, whatever. And I thought, wouldn't it be good to have a one-off special? Similar thing again, because it could be done on quite a few programmes, but to have the lookalikes.
Yeah, it has been.
4 lookalikes on there.
Brilliant.
Where you from? What's your name? I'm Norman. Where you from? Well, I'm down in Gosport, but they're just little ideas. I even thought about the other programme where they go out in the jungle. You know, the jungle.
Yeah.
Whatever. I thought, wouldn't it be good if they could do like just a one-off, whatever, using lookalikes?
Would you do that? Blimey, that'd be brilliant. That's a good idea, isn't it? Good fun.
If I got called up, mate, I'd go for it, wouldn't you?
Well, you should. Yeah, no. But you should propose that for the Comic Relief, and they could do a one-off, couldn't they? And go down to the castle, a lookalike version. It'll be brilliant, but you have to stay in character, otherwise you're out.
Yeah. He's a staying character. Because Norman, I think, because sadly, the very, very last time that I saw Norman before he passed away, which was like literally within a few days of me going to see him for the last time, whatever, I've gone over to him, and this will be with me until I'm sadly no longer here, but I've gone into the room where he was sat, and as soon as he saw me, his eyes lit up, and he got hold of my hand and gave me such a massive grip of a handshake that I felt really touched. It brought a tear to my eye, because I knew that somewhere deep, whatever, that we had this wonderful connection.
That's beautiful, mate. Really nice to hear that.
Well, so it's that type of thing, and I also I've just had so many stories. Well, you know what, because you're in the same boat, so you'll have loads of stories. But I remember I got a phone call that Norman was up in the Barbican.
Oh, yes.
For a show that they were putting on for him, in his honour. And I said to the lad that called me on it, I said, I can't really go with, because I ain't got no invite. So I said to him, I'll tell you what I'll do, Dave. I'll take a chance, I'll come up and I'll wait for you. So when you come out. So anyway, I've gone up there and I'm just loitering about, whatever. But Norman got wind that I was actually there, and he's actually come outside, got me, Glenn, you're with me. And we marched in together. So you got all these top people, whatever. They must have been thinking, what the bleed hell was going on here? But Norman actually come and got me. I've got loads of little moments like that.
So nice to hear that. I mean, he really thought a lot of you, didn't he?
One of the chief reasons why we got on so well together is because I let him just be himself.
Yeah.
And I think he revelled in that, because we had similar backgrounds. We can't odds it. I mean, our backgrounds were so similar.
Well, I didn't know this, but you had quite a sad start, didn't you, really, with the children's homes, and I didn't know that, mate.
I think I went into care when I was 11. Came out, as I mentioned earlier, unofficially at 17. But come from quite a big family. God knows what else. So slightly different to Norman, whatever. But nevertheless, it would still have probably the same effect.
Yeah, definitely. You kind of mirrored his whole life, didn't you? Really, in a way. But it's so nice. He had a long life, and we hope you do, mate, because it's so nice that you can pay tribute to him, and it is a legacy. You know, he's left a legacy, but you're carrying on that memory, and it's so nice if people could see that.
Which is a little bit sad this year, or the last 2 years or such, whatever. I haven't been able to do too much with it because there's not a lot that you can do, and it does get a little bit worrying because you think, because the world's changing so fast, the worry is this all going to be forgotten?
Yeah, that's why I'm doing these archive and these chats, you know, to not forget the entertainers. And it really is nice to talk about ones we admire as well, because we're keeping their memory alive, you know, Glenn, and it's important to do that.
Oh, yes. But it's a pity I wasn't with you. Just about getting the car there, just pop down and have a good old...
Oh, when we're allowed to do that, and if I'm passing you, if I'm near Portsmouth, Gosport, I promise I'll give you a call and we'll go and have lunch. It'll be so nice to see you.
Yeah, because I think the last time I saw you, because I think it was on a brief, it was literally a brief.
You come and see me at Southsea? Yeah.
I was at Spotlight Pier.
Yeah, you came into my rehearsal, I remember that. Thanks for coming and say hello. It was really nice. I was gutted you couldn't come and watch the show, actually, but it was good fun. It was like a proper cabaret venue, you know. It was like a mini lakeside, and the windows are quite open, but they close all of the curtains, and it just looks like a nice cabaret venue. I had such a good night that night, and I'd done 2 hours, I think, an hour each half, and it was just so nice.
In 1981, that's when I won. That very stage is where I won the talent competition.
Was it 81 at that same stage?
It's
Yeah.
It's going to be 81, yeah. So the stage that you stood on, that's our Plate Pier, is where I sung "Don't Laugh at Me" and it might have been 20 Flight Rock or something. So I had because you do 2 songs, don't you?
Yes.
I had a rock and roll song and then "You Don't Laugh at Me," and I won the competition.
Amazing! Wow. I say congratulations. I weren't there, but well done on that. I mean, you've done a few talent shows.
Congratulations to you, because don't forget the charity run that we did down that cafe, wasn't the restaurant?
Oh yeah. Dartford, wasn't it? The Chinese buffet, wasn't it? Dartford.
Yeah, we were down there, weren't we?
Oh yeah, and I won the raffle. Yes.
Yeah, I've got the pictures for that somewhere here.
Yeah.
Well, I've done that twice.
Yeah, that was nice. You've done Britain's Got Talent. What did Simon Cowell say about your normal wisdom?
But here's an interesting point for you. Simon Cowell, because obviously I didn't go on there as Norman, because that wasn't my intention as such.
Yeah.
But I could sense the penny had dropped.
Right.
But Simon Cowell said to me, it was either you remind me or you look like Norman Wisdom. And what I did, I got my flat cap in my back pocket, took it out, put it on, and the whole audience right up through the roof. But it all got cut.
Oh, you're kidding. They never showed it.
No, it all got cut, didn't it? So, because you'll know how it's difficult. Because I think I was the first. I think they had some dancers on, and so I was the first act on, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was quite nervy anyway. But to actually get Simon Cowell telling me that I look like Norman was absolutely massive.
Well, that's nice that you had it in your back pocket, you know. You had it up your sleeve and you pulled it out and you got that reaction, which is amazing.
But they know what they're looking for.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
If you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I had to try and win him over every time.
People will know that. I think it's on YouTube, isn't it, that bit?
Is it?
It's all on YouTube, yeah.
Oh, wow.
That bit, whatever, and where Piers Morgan's having a chat with me and the girl, when they put you through, but the bit of Simon telling me that I look like Norman Wisdom, that's all cut.
Ah, that's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame, but they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. When they done my audition, I had quite an extensive interview with Simon, and I got loads of laughs before I even started my act, and then I had a storm in 6 minutes, and all they showed was 20 seconds. So I know what you mean. I got some really good footage at the Palladium, but they didn't show it. So it can be disheartening, you know, but you just got to move on, and it's the business. You know the business.
Yeah, well, I don't know as well as other people, which I don't. I mean, I only know what I've been able to do. I'm an ideas man, I must admit, but I don't know how to share the ideas. Now I've sowed that seed for the Raw Variety Show.
Yeah, it's in there. I'll leave that in.
I'm going to keep you bloody fingers crossed.
Definitely.
But it's trying to find that right vehicle. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
But listen, Steve, it's been lovely to talk to you.
Nice to catch up with you.
All right, mate, and best wishes to the boys when you see them. You look after yourself, Steve, and
You
you
too,
never know,
Glenn.
we might end up at Mike Cliff's Bay to try and make our money up.
Can you give me one line before we go? Don't laugh at me. Can we see you sing me out?
Don't laugh at me, 'cause I'm a fool. I know it's true. Yes, I'm a fool. No one seems to care. I give the world to share my life with someone who really loves me. I see them all falling in love, but my lucky star hides up above. Someday maybe my star will shine on me. Don't laugh at me, 'cause I'm a fool. Mr. Grimsdale. Bye.
Ice and Steve.
Thank you, Glenn. What a wonderful chat we had on and off podcast. He really is a generous and happy soul. He's humble, and I truly believe his dream is reachable. Don't give up, Glenn. To see more of Glenn, support him on Facebook as Glenn Michael Ford. That's Glenn with 2 N's. Today's comedy quote, of course, comes from the late and great Sir Norman Wisdom. I believe in physical comedy because that reaches out to most people. I can never tell a joke. I've always found it easier to just fall over. Eyes and Teeth is written, produced and hosted by Steve Hewlett. Vocals by Lola, Larissa and Nina Hewlett. Additional vocals by Rich T. The Eyes and Teeth music and jingles are produced and performed by Kevin Dean. Join me on the next edition of Eyes and Teeth Funny for Money when I talk to comedy magician Andy Leach.